And then Rasulullah sallallahu opening the call or initiating the call to regional leaders, to kings, rulers of cities and major regions, including the major powers of the day, inviting them to Islam. After that, there was the conquest of Medina, and then we will finish, inshallah, by the farewell pilgrimage and the farewell address, which is the address that is noted in Islamic history as the major final farewell address of Rasulullah ﷺ to this ummah. So let's go to the slide migration of the Prophet ﷺ, which is referred to as Hijrah. As we have said, Quraysh, everything else has failed to deal with Rasulullah, so they made a decision to collectively assassinate the Prophet ﷺ. They said if one tribe only, or one family, Abu Jahl or Abu Lahab or his family, took the lead to assassinate the Prophet, then the family of Rasulullah ﷺ would respond, eye for an eye. And that they could not handle. So they say to liquidate him, and without any much recourse to his family, we're going to join all of us together and commit the crime together. So his family cannot do anything. So what they did, they posted 11 men from their representative families and the clans of Quraysh, and they posted them around his house, waiting for him to leave in the morning. He used to go to the sacred house, to the mosque, for salat. And so they said, we're going to station ourselves at night, waiting for him to leave in the morning. We commit the crime, and his blood will be dispersed between these 11 components of Quraysh, so they cannot do anything, his family. And so Allah Azza wa Jal reminded Rasulullah ﷺ with this verse, and remember when the disbelievers plotted against you, O Muhammad, to imprison you or to kill you or to get you out from your home, that is Mecca. They were plotting, and Allah too was planning. وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. And Allah is the best of the planners. So Rasulullah ﷺ, Jibreel came to him and informed him of the plot and asked him not to spend the night in his bed. So Rasulullah ﷺ asked Ali, his cousin, to instead spend the night in his bed and cover himself with the garments of Rasulullah ﷺ. So whenever the Qurayshis were looking, they saw somebody sleeping and they knew that they have him. So they didn't move, waiting for him to come out. And Rasulullah ﷺ came out of the house after being informed, and he made his way through these 11 men, throwing some dust on them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them to sleep at the latter part of the night. And he walked out and he read this verse from Surah Yasin, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ سُدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سُدًّا. That is, we have put a barrier before them and a barrier behind them, and we have covered them up so they cannot see. This is the verse from Surah Yasin. And so Rasulullah ﷺ left his house unharmed, and he proceeded directly to the house of his close friend Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. They already talked about Hijrah. Abu Bakr had made the preparations for Hijrah, but they were waiting for the permission to migrate. And so when the permission came, Rasulullah ﷺ went to the house of Abu Bakr, and both they proceeded southward. I underline this because the road to Medina is northward. Medina is northward, it's not southward. Mecca is in the south. But they proceeded southward to confuse the Qurayshis. They proceeded southward and they sought refuge in Ghari Thawr. This is a mountain of Thawr. They climbed it and they sought refuge in it. This was on the 14th year of prophethood. So 13 years have finished in Mecca. This is the beginning of the 14th year, which is later to be or to become the first of the Islamic calendar, the first year of the Islamic calendar, or the first year of Hijrah. When Quraysh realized that they have failed, they convened a meeting to plan on how to arrest him, how to pursue him, how to chase him out. And a price of 100 camels was set on the heads of Muhammad ﷺ and Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. They sent searchers all over. They blocked the exits of the city. And then eventually one group of searchers reached the mountain of Thawr and reached this cave. And Abu Bakr saw them, saw their feet. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, if they just look down through this crevice, which is an opening in the rock, they would have seen us. They would find us. For Rasulullah ﷺ responded with the calm of the Prophet and said, Ya Aba Bakrin, ma ra'yuka fi ithnayni Allahu thalithuhuma. O Abu Bakr, what do you think about two, who a third is Allah? Which means they are two, but there is a third one with them. And that third is Allah the Powerful. And so you should not worry. We are protected. And so they spent 3 nights in that cave. And after 3 nights, apparently the intensity of the search wind down. Quraysh gave up. They could not find them. There is no trace, no report, nothing. And look at the strategy of the Prophet ﷺ. He went down into a cave. He sat down to weather the storm of this search until it died down. Then they came out and they continued their journey. Abu Bakr had already hired a guide. He had prepared 2 camels fast for the journey. They had prepared provisions. In fact, his daughter Asma prepared the provisions. She tied the provisions and they brought them to them. And after that they left toward continued the journey. I mean, the second slide, on the arrival to Medina. So this is now the beginning of a new phase. It was 10 years of unspeakable torture from Quraysh to Rasulullah ﷺ and his followers. He had to deal now with totally new challenges that he was not used to. So on arrival to Medina, there were the challenges of building the community, bringing these people together, caring about the economics of the society, government structure, how to govern this place, how to manage war and peace, how to codify what is halal and haram, because people used to live, they don't know what halal and haram is. So there is a new deen that has been revealed, and now there are the issues of halal and haram that people have to adhere to. And of course how to worship and so forth. There are 3 distinct groups in Medina when Rasulullah ﷺ migrated. The first group, of course, is the Muslims. And that group of Muslims itself was divided into 2 components. The first component is the Ansar, which are the original inhabitants of Medina who had accepted Islam when they came to Hajj several years back, before then. So they came to Hajj, accepted Islam, returned to Medina, proposed to Rasulullah ﷺ to join them in Medina. Those are the Ansar. They are referred to in Islamic history as the helpers, those who opened their arms to receive the Prophet ﷺ and his followers. So those are called the Ansar. They were generally well-to-do. They had their homes, they had their land, they had their wealth.